now. If you want to give me a clap. Beautiful.
Cool. This is interview part 2. Afternoon. Okay. Right, so where were we? Last summer basically.
Yeah.
Summer 2014.
I was at the height of my fitness, and I got bad news then. I was in the gym, and a weight nearly fell on me, and it was a significant weight, both culturally and formatively. I found out that not only I had a seizure and in the gym, and the weight nearly fell on my head. Jesus. And I got up to steady myself, and I passed out with a grand mal seizure, and the rest is history.
Every year, about 9 million people die of cancer. This is a story of just one of those people, my mate, Git Byrne. We'll also ask, are we doing death all wrong?
As a great owl equaliser. People have the ideas, I'll be like this, or I'll be like that, and I'll be like that. We don't know how we'll respond until the day.
Ireland does death really well. Does death really, really well. It's one of the things that we're really good at here.
We really need to talk about death. We need to have conversations. People are afraid of dying. People are afraid of people who are dying. When somebody dies, people don't like talking to people after they've been bereaved. And really, death is as natural as birth.
One story of a woman who lived in the Gaeltacht area, an Irish-speaking woman, and she'd lost her 19-year-old son tragically. And she was obviously very upset for having lost him. And, when he was being waked, the priest, she was very upset, and the priest was saying to her, why are you so upset? Like, he's gone to God, or he's gone to whatever, but he couldn't connect with her level of grief, right? So she answered him in verse. Eish the haggart the shasig dirach leg a tafran is yoi to dilas near hugshe 3 raw hair or imel the chriat na name lina deag or food and tiat. So she said, like whished priest, she says, and stand erect, she says, read the mass, she says, and you'll get paid. He didn't spend 9 months around your heart or 19 years around your house. And I thought it was absolutely powerful.
Takes time, that's all it is.
I just feel a bit dark about it. I don't know what I feel here. It's just a bit of a stone in a Catholic graveyard. Seeing his son is what provokes the most emotion in me, because it's so sad seeing his son. He's so similar to him, and every time looking at him, I'm just like, Git. I cannot think of anything else.
Do you think you having your own child in the last years, has that really made
it's really,
this whole thing?
yeah, it's put it into perspective. And I know what my parents have lost, like, and they'll never get over it, like, ever. So I don't know what stage they're at, but I've definitely seen a change in them, and they're not the same people they were. How would you be,
What I would call transcendental experiences really close to death. As I say, it's right across all cultures and across time.
What I find sometimes, patients have high expectations of what can be achieved because they see modern medicine as almost a panacea, as almost the answer to everything, and it's not. And while we've made huge progress in the treatment of cancer in particular, I mean, unfortunately, there are still cancers where, the prognosis and the outlook from the day one is poor. And I think it's very important for, the doctors looking after the patient and the family, that they set the expectation at the right level to start with. Because if patients come away hearing, we've taken out the tumour, that's fantastic. They're thinking, well, I'm cured. But we know, for example, in a primary brain tumour, if you remove the primary
brain tumour, if it's an aggressive tumour, we know that the prognosis is still very poor.
You have to be honest from the very beginning without taking away all hope.
Sure.
And that's,
well, that's what I mean about that.
and that's a
balance.
hard one. Nobody likes delivering this information. I mean, it is very tiring, psychologically and emotionally, and almost you feel the old days of, sure, we'll do something, it'll be fine, is much easier on everybody.
You know, I want to deal with this with as much dignity as possible. The dignity, how I'm exposed to this is really important to me. How I go down, and you know that I'm seen to go down fighting, because that's very important to me, and it's a critical aspect of, you know, how I'm remembered.
The clothes that I have memories of him in, which is this jersey and probably the Leinster jersey, the pink jersey, because it's something he always wanted, he never wore.
Sure.
And then his leather jackets, like.
The light up there.
We've great memories here. It took me a while to remember the real Chris, the Chris that I fell in love with, you know, because it was overshadowed by his illness, and you know, the last year and a half of his life was just. The last year and a half of his life was the first year and a half of Harry's life, so you can just imagine it's very mixed, and you can't erase those memories because they're the only memories you have of them together as well.
The savage thing is that you're not allowed to talk about it.
So is it the last great taboo in Irish
We
society?
will not. If I mention to people that I dig graves, they go, oh.
You freeze up.
And there are other people. If they're giving me trouble, I say, do you realise I could take care of you? You know, and
you are not dead, baby.
Realize now we have baby. Well, as a student, he became a clerk at the Petty Sessions Court
Into research.
What's Chris Byrne's legacy? As trivial as possible.
Yes,
you know,
of
not
course,
like
of course.
The bridge you built across.
Well, you know, like I'd like it to be for people to remember me as, again, a trite statement, but as a nice person, you know.
Yeah.
And that would be significantly important to me. Just being sound in general, you know. But